Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Unplugged. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a fascinating topic that combines the worlds of security research and software development, specifically focusing on a project from the tech giant Google. Now, you may have heard about security advisories, but what exactly does that mean? Well, in the simplest terms, a security advisory is a warning from a software vendor about vulnerabilities that could be exploited by hackers. And here's where it gets really intriguing. Google has a project dedicated to researching and producing these advisories. But here's the twist. They focus on vulnerabilities that affect not just Google software, but also non-Google-owned code. Imagine if you're a developer working on an open-source project, and you receive a notification from Google warning you about a potential security threat in the libraries you're using. That's the kind of proactive approach we're seeing from Google's security research team. They're not just looking out for their products, they're extending their insights to the broader coding community. So why does this matter? Well, consider the rapid pace of technology and how frequently new vulnerabilities emerge. It's like a game of cat and mouse. Developers are constantly fixing issues while hackers are coming up with new ways to exploit them. The work done by Google in this realm not only helps protect their own ecosystem, but also aids countless developers across the industry. And speaking of developers, have you ever wondered how they prioritize what to address first when handling security threats? It's a balancing act, right? You have to juggle between fixing vulnerabilities while still pushing out new features. I mean, it's a lot like being a parent. Sometimes you have to deal with emergencies while also managing everyday life. Now let's touch on proof of concepts, another critical component of this project. You see, a proof of concept is a demonstration that shows a certain vulnerability is indeed exploitable. Think of it like a science experiment where researchers showcase how something works. Only in this case, it's the dark art of hacking. By sharing these proofs, Google not only illustrates the threat, but also empowers developers to patch these vulnerabilities before they can be exploited in the wild. Can you imagine the discussions that arise when a new advisory is published? It's a bit like sharing a new discovery in a scientific community. It sparks dialogue, collaboration, and ultimately innovation. As we wrap up, let's think about the bigger picture here. Security is no longer just a nice-to-have. It's essential in our increasingly digital world. Projects like Google's security research are crucial because they ensure that everyone, from independent developers to large corporations, can work in a safer environment. So here's a thought-provoking question for you. What measures do you think are essential for organizations to take to stay ahead of potential threats? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Tech Talk Unplugged. We'll catch you next time, and remember, stay curious about the tech that shapes our lives.